I play for Ukraine.
Spelar för Ukraina.
Spiel für die Ukraine.
Joga pela Ucrânia.
תשחקו בשביל אוקראינה.
Grijpen za Ukrajinu.
Speel voor Oekraïne.
Jat, Oekraïne.
Speel voor Oekraïne.
Żyję voor Oekraïne.
Graj dla Ukrainy.
Speel voor Oekraïne.
Play for Ukraine.
Speel
voor Oekraïne.
Nanki.
Speel
voor Oekraïne.
Ucrânia.
Play for Ukraine.
Welcome to the big show, folks. The European Ultimate Indoor Championships 2022 women's gold medal action here for you in this hotly contested division of 8 teams. Myself, Hannah Pendery, alongside Christina Obermeier, and we are bringing you the offense of the Netherlands. One of the tightest games of the tournament, with these two teams matched up in pool play. The Swedes versus the Dutch, and Floor Alert's the stats leader at the moment for this Netherlands side, with the hammer over to Sarah Sparks for the opening goal.
Floor Alert's with that hammer, the top scorer for the Netherlands, currently standing at 38 scores and assists combined. 20 of those assists, 18 goals, and gets another assist.
Of the stats leaders in this tournament, Christina, I have to say Colorts is actually probably one of the most level pegging in terms of the reflection of scores and assists. Of course, known for her overhead receptions for the club team Gut in the past, but this is her first representation for a senior team at the national level. Can you believe?
I can actually, because she is still, what, 22? So, and she also has a lot of representation in the mixed division. Netherlands is known for their mixed club team, showing now that the women are just as strong in this final.
Well, it is that O-line of Sweden coming out. Eklund sisters. Vitorsson at the moment, the stats leader for the Swedes, currently with the disc, the lefty, opening up those curious spaces on the pitch. Angergaard is going to dish up. Those two will be sisters-in-law potentially later on in these years. That's a snag behind the back for Vitorsson. Vitorsson, oh, a cheeky lefty push pass. The flair with which these young athletes play is fantastic. Eklund sisters connecting. Far side Vitorsson. Viktorsson through to Eklund. Just pinning the Swedes to that far sideline. They love the fast pace.
They absolutely do. Disc is back in play.
Eklund. Faking and dishing to Erlandsson from the Kufum Åbro team. And just a dish up line, huge bid for Lusterlapknot, but cannot deny. Angergaard picks up the first score.
Angergaard, on the other hand, says about all the... Angergaard up the line here. So basically the same position as the Netherlands were in before. Reverse it, right? And instead of like an overhead shot, they go for the quick up the line. Those two teams.
So the Dutch
level for their first point.
Big over-the-top shot to Collerts under pressure. Finds Justine van der Merlen, who was so crucial in the championship bracket, and a scuba over the top. And a nice little dish spike.
Yeah, Justine van der Meulen, almost as many stats as Flo Coulets. Those two have been loving to connect to each other and have been loving to score for this Dutch side. So it might be one of the most important things for this Dutch side, Swedish side, to stop those two.
Absolutely.
They have played each other before. They were in the same pool coming into this tournament, and it was a brilliant universe point. And if you're wondering how that was, you can still watch it.
You certainly can. Every single game in this women's division, we brought you to the live stream, and that was probably one of the tightest games. In fact, the tightest game. Rather than sort of big runs of breaks, it was sort of, a game of inches, attrition, if you will. So the Swedes with the disc. Sara Eklund passes back with a high blady reset. Viktorsson into Erlandsen. Faking all over the shop, dishes straight up, and there's a stumble. The foul is going to be called. Perhaps getting a little bit caught up in the legs of Daniela Lustelotnap. Lustelotnap's first ever indoor tournament this championships.
Really?
Really, legit.
She is from Mexico, isn't she?
She is originally, yep.
Now living in the Netherlands, that's where she can play for the national team.
So, looking,
Sophia Ekelund.
yeah, looks like a accepted foul.
She walked the disc back in front of the goal line.
Straight shot across the end zone to her sister. Eklund's connecting for a hold for the Swedes. So in the previous matchup between these two teams, Christina, we didn't see a break until we got to 5-6, where the Dutch took the first, and then the Swedes immediately responded. So we're expecting this one to be inch, nudge, teeny tiny. We haven't seen any mistakes yet, that collision with Lustelotnap and Eklund, but apart from that, mighty clean indeed.
Yeah, well, you don't get to a final being unclean.
Boss fakes off that first look to Sparks. Goes for Coloretz, who's got that extra inch of poach off. Root wanting it to a low catch for Justine van der Meulen, but makes it look relatively easy. Nice dish into the pocket. Zesty fake sends Renate van Eyte. Tenkate. Boss with a huge poach off, just biding their time. Sparks round the back, the foul's going to be called. Too much touch. Nilsson had a fair few fouls called against her yesterday.
With those backhands around the back, it's often, if not always, a foul, because you release that so late that your marker would have to be very, very far away from you to get that disc cleanly without getting, a tip of the hand.
So contested foul. Players just chatting about what stall it's going to come in on. Straight to the end zone. Coloretz with the finesse feet. Sideline giving an opinion from above.
She asks whether she's in or out, and the stands are
asking for the
sure it's
VAR.
out.
I'd like to see the replay.
They can go and watch.
And Coloretz is going to come over to Dr. Foster's replay scene. Waiting for our technology to work.
It's super slow motion here, so we can. See it once again.
I don't think our microphones are picking it up, but essentially, just to tell you what the discussion is, floor is... Oh, I'll take it back. We have a microphone. Floor colors there wearing Isa Monkal's shirt. Having discussion with Cecilia Erlandsen. So she felt she was fairly sure with that back foot. So hopefully I might picked up. Christina Obermeyer with the eyes pointing out the fact we've got a little microphone set up in our VAR booth.
Hope you're enjoying our setup. We're trying out something new.
Innovation's always key.
Well, I thought it was always better before, you know. Is that a saying in English? Because it is in German. Like, old times were always better.
Oh, Lustelak not nearly getting a run through and block there. Jeklund to Jeklund. Great pressure, forcing these big swings backwards. Viktorsson. Oh, what a recovery from Sofia Jeklund. Viktorsson hitting the unders, some poaching off from the Dutch, leaving Erlandsen completely open and wide, acres of space for the blade.
Viktorsson with the lefty hammer. She is, again, the stats leader for the Swedes. See her in a perfect position, running towards the disc, and then without even hesitating for a second, putting that lefty hammer over the top.
We have two Erlandsens on our Swedish roster. This Swedish team being a mix of Kufum Orbro and Valkyria, two club teams we're used to seeing on the international circuit. As a huge hammer from Forkulets. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Franka Tenkata, what a huge grab!
Secures that with one hand, pushing her whole body towards that disc. Colliding with the ground afterwards. And she says in her player survey that she has lost every game so far in her Frisbee career, I would expect, until now, going with the Dutch women to this Indoor Ultimate Championship.
Yeah, coming through the junior division, Tenkata, as you say. 2 caps, no wins, and potentially, with plays like that, it could be a gold medal. Certainly be something shiny around the neck for both these teams who've been marvellous in this hotly contested women's division. Jeklund pops around the back. Ongegaard. Jeklund sisters connecting. The trust between those two. Viktorsson doesn't need to be hit because Erlandsen's ready in the back corner.
Erlandsen, we remember her to be a very sneaky player, having a very quick turn of step, moving her body one way, faking, then going the other way for that score.
But this is great stuff from the Dutch defense. I haven't seen the Swedes look this fluster-clustered on offense very often at all this tournament. Probably not since their last game against the Dutch. Although they did have a bit of a squeaker in their semi-final, where they came up against Great Britain. Big scuba over the top from Sarah Sparks. And an easy dish into the end zone. The Dutch are so fast when they have the disc, Christina.
Yeah, they are just clinical here. That hammer shooting nearly all the way into the end zone already, and then cool outs with the offhand backhand to Van der Meulen.
So these games, 42 minutes long. In the earlier stages of this championship bracket, we talked a lot about Sarah Sparks' lefty hammer. Different
lefty
forcing.
yeah,
that lefty scuba. go for different options.
Have to variate a bit.
Tight match defense. Jekland passing to her sister up line. Erlandsen squeezing it up this near side. Big expansive pass over the top of the pack and great footwork in the back corner. Another goal for Vendela Viktorsson.
What the Swedes are doing very well is separating players in one part of the space and the rest stays behind. They know where each other will go to, and the Netherlands are trying to poach it off a little bit, but not quite enough to stop them yet.
We've seen the Dutch play a lot of very smart defense across this championship, especially sinking in and sort of clamping, confusing the space rather than those one-on-one matchups that saw them come a little bit unglued on the speed of Viktorsson. But a brick pull and Bas will bring in at the little X's. About 8 meters into these 40-meter long pitches. Kulurts, easy hammer over the top to Bas, just has to sit and wait. Huge one, open up the can of gas! But that was a little bit too high for Justine van der Meulen.
She gets to it, but can't quite get it down with her. Sweden with the first break opportunity.
Great high grab from Nilsson. Goes with 2. Otto Holmlund. Quick dish. Things looking a little bit static upfield, allowing those Dutch poachers to close in. Shoots and scores, and there is the first break going to Team Sweden.
Hanny, does this remind you of anything?
It reminds me a lot, Christina, of the last time these two teams met, where at 5-5, there was a break that came, sorry, 5-6 even, a break that came from the Dutch. This time, first blood goes to the Swedes. Last time, the Swedes came back and won it. This time, who knows?
Who knows? But we will know soon, and we will see.
Yeah, but no one knows. These two teams are tussling and tight out there. You see leaving the line one of the Leininger twins. Annick Leininger unfortunately gave it her all in the championship bracket. Took a big hit to her knee to get a huge block. And there is a huge block with Otto Holmlund throwing her body in the path of Fleur Kulurts. It's all fair in love and frisbee though.
Holmlund has been tasked with Kulurts, and there she goes with the bookends as well.
2 on the bounce for Team Sweden in breaks, 3 unanswered. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a timeout call here. Otto Holmlund had the line on the defensive block. And the little elbow spike.
Great scuba there. Bas is even poaching off a little bit there. But plays perfectly.
Well, the fans in the stand starting to get loud. There's a big Dutch contingent all wearing their orange. Of course, the Open team got knocked out by the Ukrainians in quarterfinals in the Open division. Bas with a huge grab over the top of Viktorsson. There might be too much spice on that. There is conservation of greatness.
Yeah, but how high did Tenkate jump into the air to try and get that? Look at that.
That one's going to leave a bruise tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
Renström getting us underway. The Dutch playing the defense of their lives. It's still all to play for, but this would open up a huge mountain. Jekland over the top, coming across to this D-line. Vitorsen pops back to Erlandsen. Vitorsen with a lefty flick. Oh my word. The Swedes pulling their stars across from the O-line to play defense early doors. Is that going to seal the deal?
Viktorsson with the quick flick into Holmlund. I do think that the D-line has needed a break, and that's why the O-line got to play D-line now.
Well, no, that was a mix-up. That was a mix of both O and D-line players. We've got two coaches for the Swedes. We've got James Barneville and Thomas Eriksson, both very experienced individuals. And it seems like they're just pulling that extra little bit of something, and we see the timeout. So the Dutch on defense are really making the Swedes work for it. They are throwing twice as many passes as their opponents. The Dutch are just taking more isolation plays. The Swedes right now, they're just grinding the meat.
They're working to their strength, both of the teams, because Netherlands is heavily relying on isolating the single, maybe standout players, whereas Sweden are more of a, especially their own line, very compact, high level.
Well, their O-line's all standout players.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why they can involve more people. They don't need to they don't need to rely on one person only, or they don't want to, maybe.
I think it's just like that. Also, we have to remember the fact that the Valkyria players that are currently on the pitch for, or on this Swedish team, they are silver medalists in 2020. Oh, but that's a gorgeous blade right to the back pocket. Tenkate with a fantastic displacement.
Really having herself a game, Tenkate. Kulertz with an impeccable cut, but that was a trust shot. We saw that.
Love those blades to the part of the pitch that only your teammates can get to. But talking about the Dutch, obviously we've mentioned they lost their teammate, Annick Leininger, who was a big part of their offense on the handler back set. Obviously her twin sister is still present. The number 16, Iris. But the Swedes at the moment looking in fine. Vettel, Viktorsson, across to Angergaard. Jekland now around to Viktorsson. Easy dish and pop and go. Not many athletes can make floor alerts look a little bit slow, but the pace on Viktorsson. But the Dutch are playing really smart defense, pinning the Swedes back. Big around Viktorsson. A little jink up line after going back for the full reset so many times. A big lefty over the top. Leininger can't get near it. Jekland with the goal, and that is going to be half 9-6.
Jekland just waiting for her perfect opportunity to get that hammer, pushing her defender onto the open side. Well-deserved half-time in favor of the Swedes.
I really loved that change of tactic that gave Viktorsson the disc and the possession on that front corner. Having gone back for the safe blade swing so many times, that little juke up line. But great aerial displays from both sides. We're going to take a brief break here at halftime alongside the athletes, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half after these messages.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Second half action in the gold medal match here at the women's division for the European Ultimate Indoor Championships 2022. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Christina Obermeyer and all of our tireless ulti.TV production crew. Benji Rees on our stats. And this is quite the display from the Swedes. They are moving the disc so quickly, coming out on offense here to consolidate their advantage. 3 breaks the better of their opponents. Erlandsson of Örebro on the far sideline. Anjegård has Eklund real poached, takes Sara instead. A hammer over the top, that's going to sail too far by about 3 inches.
Hammering once, hammering twice, nearly connects, but that's one of the break opportunities that the Netherlands have to get back to stay in this final.
Well, the first Swedish turnover of the game, giving that opportunity back in pool stages, the last match of the pool to decide the placements going into the crossover quarter-finals. It was all about the call and response. How can the Dutch respond here? Low one for Hufnagel. Easy one around the back for Leininger. Thinks about the flick. And we see that Swedish saggy zoney type defense to try and confuse the space. Opportunity calls! Called out of bounds. Oh, no, not out of bounds, just not in the end zone quite. Huge stuff from Hufnagel. Justine van der Meulen hits up line. It's a direct straight shot, a hammer to the face, but easy pickings for Floor Collarts.
Worked through that zone in perfection. Look at that again. How did she get that? Putting her body on the line there. Not quite in the end zone, quite literally on the line. Getting back in Floor Collarts with the goal here, positioning herself in between the 2 defenders. And that is 1 break back for the Netherlands. 2 more are needed.
So out comes the O-line again. Viktorsson on the far side, looking around for options. Has Anjegård. Swedes being given these unders to just grind through. Anjegård. Match by Lustenok Knapp. We saw Boss talking about the positioning of the forces in the halftime. Seems to be much better at making those breaks a lot less valuable for the Swedes. Viktorsson, no mark, as the Dutch play some swampy clamp. Making sure there are no one-on-one matches to exploit in the end zone. Eklund dishes to Anjegård. Can they pin them? This is cool, calm work, but there seems to be some sort of call far side.
Maybe a stall-out call, because she did have the disc in her hands for quite a long time. Players are going to discuss it. Stall out. We hear the signal, as we see the signal from the sidelines. A retracted stall, and I believe the disc will stay with Viktorsson.
Viktorsson going all the way around the world, just squeaking one out to Sofia Ekland. Erlandsson being poached off by this defense, trying to make sure, as I say, we don't have any isolations in the end zone, but there's going to be Sarah Ekland for the goal, just grinds toward the open side.
Leaving Erlandsson all alone to put the team on her back this time and get the assist, but also got 2 very needed resets for the Swedish side. And it really looked like they were having fun out there, running hard, cutting hard, and getting those nifty flick blades off again and again.
Outdoors, we talk so much about closing lines up towards the end of games. The Swedes did that towards the end of the first half. Now we're going to see a more traditional look on their D-line, but the format of these indoor championships, it's only 42 minutes, so you can close up and have your stars out there for so much longer in terms of the percentage of the game. And at the moment, the Swedes pinning the Dutch to that far sideline. Huge bomb from Floor Krellerts, but that one's going to come down to earth and hit nothing but the floor.
There's a good opportunity, but looks like she saw that a little too late, and Humlung starts Sweden up now.
Nilsson, easy one over the top. Again, the Dutch giving these resets, thinking about how valuable those cuts into the end zone are. Dish over the top, Bjernström, Van Eyte. This is real patience. This is interesting. Obviously, the Dutch are really good with their zone, and it does generate turnovers, but this is run down the clock pace defense. And the Dutch really need to generate turns. Bjernström and Van Eyte just hanging out in the backspace. Erlandsson now across to Holmlund. Tiny bit spicy, but more than capable of the task of running that down. Bjernström tries to inject some pace, but ends up with a drop. Now, when you play zone for that long, are we going to see that quick offense return? Now it's the Swedes' turn to poach off the back set of those orange shirts. Tenkate thinks about that one over the top. Oh, it's a soft scuba from the left hand of Sarah Sparks, and there we go. It's just the hold, but it'll do.
It is one very much needed hold. The Swedes were in front of their opponent's zone for quite some time, and for the Netherlands to contain them there and then get that hold in the end. It's great stuff from them, but that's probably why they are here in the final.
Well, with just under 10 minutes of regulation time remaining, the Netherlands started on offense, so they have that slight advantage coming into this. Trailing 2 breaks, though. Just got to keep themselves in this game, see if they can snag a block. But the key is staying within 3 of your opponents. You play out that last point when regulation time expires. But if it's more than 3, it's all over. Ekland on the break side, Leininger. Oh, nearly the poach block from Savio.
So close. But Sweden remain with possession.
Huge one over the top. Ekland underneath it, throws her body on the floor, but toes it in for the goal.
Leininger was right there with her. But Ekland in the tiniest better position, like the tiniest difference between the two.
Well, this is real different from the way the Swedes were scoring at the end of the first half when it was absolute acres on that break side. That is really closing up the gap. But can the Dutch close the gap on the scoreboard?
Well, I hope so, because that'll make for an even more interesting game, although it is neck on neck here.
Yeah, we don't care who wins. We just want really good frisbee. And right now, it is spicy. Sparks up the line. Calls for more underneath action. Big one to Justine van der Meulen. This is resets in space, but a big lefty hammer over the top. Kalurts fakes the shot to bus. Big hammer. Again, the lefty hammer, and great feet from Floor Kalurts. That stab to keep it in bounds.
That was so close to the line, but who else but Floor Kalurts could roll that in just centimeters in bounds.
Well, the second and third seed initially in this tournament coming here to the gold medal match. And you can see how much effort is being put in by both sides. Floor Kalurts there looking almost tired, dare we say it.
That's just a deception.
Well, she's trying to deceive us. She's wearing Issa Moncal's shirt after all. We still know who you are, Floor. The crowd's starting to get involved with every pass to support the defense from the top of the stands. Oh, and an error! Anga God. I don't think I've seen her drop all tournament.
I haven't seen as much of her as you have, but me neither.
Well, I've watched every game and I don't recall any. Lining it. A little cheeky movement. Hoofnagels working together. Paul Rab, the player who played 2 European, 2 World Championships and got married in the same year. Former German. A little bit of international love on this Dutch side. Hoofnagels and Lusterlotna. Oh, and just sneaky! Softly into the end zone with a toss backhand. That's a break for the Dutch.
Seems like both teams are using the same tactics in front of the end zone to prevent the teams from scoring. This time, Dutch side gets the better of them for a break. Just when they needed it.
Slowly but surely, with 5 minutes remaining. It is lining up, just giving a little bit of extra tactical adjustments. And an out of bounds pull. It's going to give Anjago a start from the brick. Centre position 8 meters away from that front end zone line. Big old poach off the handlers. Victor Schum, single-handed grab high. Yeklin has her sister bouncing across. Doesn't go for the scuba. Victor Schum not quite in. The Swedes will easily take the resets here. 2 Yeklins to choose from. Sophia sitting in the back. High hammer from the left hand. Leininger doesn't like the look of it. The Swedish fans right behind call it inbounds. The person right on the balcony shook his hand like he wasn't sure. What's your view, Christina, looking at that replay?
I'm not sure. It's very close, a very, very close call in my opinion.
VAR it is.
Depends whether her left foot was still in bounds. She was on the floor when she caught it. We'll go. I'm getting asked by the players.
Slow-mo it down frame by frame.
Maybe we can do that. I do think now with the slow-mo it is in. She managed to keep her left foot down and then put her right foot to it as she already had possession.
Well, we saw one from Fleur Kalertz that was inch perfect. Now we see one from Sarah Jekland that is inch perfect.
It's that thing of everything that you can do, I can do better.
I don't know if I'd call either of those better.
That's why I was so slow and waiting for the better, because I mean, it is impeccable from both players, because the reason they have to get it is not because they wanna, but because they have to. So the thrower would actually be testing them, or more than.
Well, the hold for the Swedes. Lefty backhand, far side boss going towards the deep space. A toss. Huge one over the top to one of the smallest players on the field, but it sails over both of their outstretched palms. Almost like the hands closed too early.
Paula Bass knew Viktorsson was right behind her, felt the pressure off the defense and jumps a bit too early.
The Enstrom with the disc, one of the younger players on this Swedish side. Jekland has Viktorsson going deep. Trying to muscle the way back. There is isolation for Viktorsson. She wants to attack the end zone. She comes under instead. Striking up that line. Kalertz gives up the around. There is space, there is time. Justine van der Meulen can't control it.
She jumps out in front, and Eklund with the bit better read on that disc. A break for Sweden.
Oh, well, my, oh my. It looked a little bit like Justine van der Meulen was going to extend and get up in the bread box. But what a snag for Sarah Jekland. Household name, and deservedly so, across the world, not just Europe.
I'm in awe of all players in this final. There's so much pressure on you to do well, and both teams have performed to their highest.
But again, those break shots, the Dutch are right there. They're right up there. But is it going to be too little too late after that huge chasm that the Swedes open up at the end of the second half? Poaches off of the back set again. Voss coming underneath. Justine van der Meulen attacking over the top of Van Eyte. Tenkate opens up the open side, a huge grab, rising, catching a tiny bit of Erlandsen, who came in to try and deny. Clutching her face a little bit, but my goodness, what a grab.
Pressure from two Swedish defenders, and Tenkate holds her ground. Get that, Resnick. There's already Van Eyte so close to getting that D, and two players underneath, but Tenkate isn't bothered at all. Quick offense by the Dutch.
Tenkate has been a little bit quieter in some of the other Dutch games, but really making her stamp here in the gold medal match. So game to 14. Can the Dutch deny the Swedes everything they want? Or is it just going to be a cool, clean hold? Jekland to Angergaard. Jekland. Trying to give themselves plenty of room in the handler space. Sophia has options. Sarah Jekland. Oh, there was a moment where Hoefnagel thought she could have that. Justine van der Meulen doing a great job of trying to shut down Sarah Jekland. Viktorsson coming out, dishing. Such threats, oh, such space, and that is gold for Sweden. Jekland has a little stumble, but that is just, hold on.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. Oh.
No, no, don't go anywhere, it's not over yet.
Oh, hold on. So I was wrong when I thought that was the end.
No, it's not the end.
Ah, there
the time expired after the last goal was caught.
Between points.
In between points, making it officially already starting of the next point. So this is play this point, add one to the highest score. If the Swedes don't get to break. If the Swedes manage to break here, game is over. If the Dutch get to hold it, there's one more point to play.
Oh, well, sorry for ruining anybody's emotions.
You just get to do it again, honey.
Absolutely, it ain't over yet, folks. We can barely hear ourselves in this loud stadium. The crowd getting involved. It's a big lefty hammer. The Enstrom has a little gaze at it. Van der Meulen clearing sparks through. Van Eyck poaching off. Kulorts. Justine van der Meulen lurking in the end zone. Oh, and that is a lovely throw from Sarah Sparks. So, now it's the Swedes' second game point coming out on offense.
It is time to get serious here. See the replay here. Flick over the top and another hammer from Sparks. She has been so steady for the Dutch side.
So 4 breaks earned by the Swedes, 2 from the Dutch. Oh, and there's an error, but redeemed by Sarah Eklund. Always coming through when Sweden need her. Viktorsson. Oh, and just an easy open cut. And there we go. That is game, set and match. The gold medal into Swedish hands. Sarah Eklund finishing us off with something so simple and so delicious.
As simple as a garbage catch, and then going up the line for the Swedish score. Impeccable play from both teams. I hope you enjoyed our coverage here. I certainly enjoyed that game. Well-deserved win for the Swedes, but the Netherlands gave everything they had.
Absolutely, after losing one of their key units to get themselves to this final with that big bash to the knee for lining it. The number 97, one of the 2 twins, Sarah Eklund, just says, all right then, let's do this. Making a hero of herself, as she does so frequently. Hats off to the Dutch, they fought well, but that was just Sweden's day today. After Valkyria took the silver back in 2020 to the Lithuanians. That was a heck of a game. Well, that's going to wrap us up for the women's division, having brought you every single game. ulti.TV crew working tirelessly for you out here in Lithuania. Keep your eyes glued to the streams. We have 2 more finals for you. First off, it's going to be the open match. We have Belgium versus Finland. That is going to be one heck of a game. And then finishing us up will be the mixed division, Great Britain matching up against Estonia. So keep your eyes fixed. We are going to wrap up this one, but we'll be back with you very soon. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other side.
ulti.TV.
Freezing outside, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you.